What's up, Shady Riku here, and I would like to welcome you to my synthesis guide for Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Now, item synthesis is a mechanic in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix which allows Sora to make powerful items, weapons, and accessories using materials collected throughout the various worlds. Now, some of the most powerful equipment can only be obtained through synthesis, including Sora's most powerful Keyblade. Most synthesis materials are dropped by Heartless, but rare items such as Dark Matters and Orichalcums are found in chests instead. Synthesis is accessed exclusively through Moogles, who are found on the second floor of the accessory shop, which you get access to after activating the Green Trinity on the accessory shop's first floor. In the beginning, 6 items are available to synthesize, which along with all the other items can be made as many times as you want, as long as you have the required materials. A mix will appear beside items which have been successfully created to help keep track of what's already been synthesized. New lists of items will be available for synthesis once a certain number from the previous lists have been made. There are 6 lists in total, with the final list reserved for the Ultima Weapon, Fantasista, and 7 Elements. Some of, if not the most powerful weapons in the game for Sora, Donald, and Goofy respectively. So as you can imagine, trying to synthesize all the items can be quite a daunting task, so I've decided to comprise everything into a synthesis guide. In this guide, the description is your best friend, so use it often, as absolutely everything will be timestamped. If this is your first time watching, I recommend you listen to the intro so you fully understand how to use this guide. If you need any help or have any questions, drop them in the comments section and I'll be happy to help. So let's jump on into it. So just before we start, I'd like to go over some requirements that I'm going to recommend before you start trying to synthesize. First of all, you need to get to the final rest. This is the final area in the end of the world with a save point, and the last area before you fight Ansem and complete the game. This not only ensures you're far enough in the game to have all the required abilities needed for this guide, but it also gives you easy access to every area in the game, including Heartless located directly behind this room, which we will cover later. Second, you're going to need to get to a high enough level where most Heartless become relatively easy, and the boss Heartless such as the Phantom, which is needed for Stopka, becomes very doable. In my opinion, level 70 is a sweet spot, so I'm going to recommend you at least get to this level. Thirdly, I would like you to collect all of the torn pages, as certain areas within the 100 Acre Wood world not only provide easy access to many rare items difficult to find elsewhere, but some of the rewards obtained by completing the page's various minigames are pretty much essential. Luckily, I've already made a torn pages guide on my channel, which I will link in the description and at the end of the video. The fourth requirement is to get a Roga, the fully upgraded form of Aero Magic, which is necessary to get certain Heartless to drop items. Just quickly, how to get all 3 upgrades. You learn Aero by defeating Opposite Armor, which you'll have done at this stage. Your second upgrade is found inside a chest in a room behind the Yellow Trinity in the ship's hold in Neverland. If you want more detail on this, I will link you to my Yellow Trinity guide in the description. And finally, you need to return all 99 Dalmatians to Pongo and Perdita in the 2nd district, and they will reward you with the final upgrade to your Aero Magic. Now obviously I'm not going to show you all the locations in this video, but I will leave a link in the description and at the end of the video to take you to my Dalmatians guide. Similar to Eroga, you're going to need Stopka, the fully upgraded form of Stop Magic, necessary to get certain Heartless to drop items. Again, to get all 3 upgrades. Your first upgrade is obtained by defeating the Parasite Cage in Monstro for the 2nd time. You get your second upgrade by completing Pooh's Swing minigame in the 100 Acre Wood world. And you get your final upgrade to your Stop Magic after defeating the Phantom at Neverland's Clock Tower. So if you meet all these requirements, we can jump into the synthesis guide, starting with the rare items. So up now on the left hand side of the screen are 4 rare items needed for synthesis that are not dropped by Heartless, except in very rare cases. These are Mythril Shards, Mythrils, Orichalcums, and Dark Matters. These items are mostly found inside chests, but many are found in other obscure ways, and finding the necessary quantities for these materials is one of the hardest parts of synthesis. Luckily, the locations of every rare item found in the game are inside this guide, which will all be timestamped down below. Now beside each item I have listed how many are needed for synthesis, and subsequently how many are found throughout the game. Bear in mind that all these items can be obtained in other methods, such as buying them in the item shop in the case of the Orichalcums, so when I say found in the game, that refers to the amount easily obtained during a normal playthrough, but I will cover any other bonus methods to obtain these items when I get to that particular one. Now the huge list on the right hand side of the screen is the list of materials needed that are dropped by Heartless, which means on screen right now is a list of everything you're going to need to complete the Moogle synthesis. However, I should mention that on the list of items you end up forging, there's 1 Mythril and 1 dark matter created anyway, so we can just take them away from the total. So now we only need 12 Mythrils and 13 dark matters. Unfortunately, there is one problem with this list. As you can see, we need 13 dark matters, but there are only 11 found in the game. Therefore, we must refer to the bonus method that I mentioned earlier, and the only other way to obtain dark matters is to forge them. To forge a dark matter, we need 9 lucid shards, 1 gale, and 2 Mythrils. And because we need 2 extra dark matters, we multiply that by 2. So now we need an extra 18 lucid shards, 2 gales, and 4 Mythrils, which we will now add to the total. I understand this can be quite complicated, so just remember to post any questions down in the comments section, and I will answer as best I can. So I'm going to structure this guide by world, which makes it the easiest way to follow along, starting at Traverse Town and finishing off at the end of the world, which will be the theme throughout the guide. First off, I'm going to show the locations of the rare items in the same order as they are on screen, and afterwards we can move on to the meat and potatoes of the guide, the materials dropped by Heartless. So with the rare items such as Mythril Shards, there are so many in the game that you pretty much have free reign to choose which ones are easiest for you. In the end you only need so many, but I will show you every location regardless, so you can choose to get whichever ones you like. Now when you start collecting all the materials, the best thing to do is to keep track of what you already have. Now I understand that writing everything down could be quite time consuming, so I've actually created a PDF file, which you can easily print out and use to tick off what you already have collected as you follow along. Please feel free to use it and have fun item hunting alongside me in this guide. Now with that huge intro out of the way, let's finally get started. So starting with the Mythril Shards, you need 12 out of the following 31. Your first Mythril Shard is located inside a chest in the accessory shop on top of the display case. You are rewarded with a Mythril Shard after posting your second postcard. Inside one of the chests in the Moogle item workshop will be the third Mythril Shard. There's another Mythril Shard located in a chest on the roof of Traverse Town's 2nd district. You can get a Mythril Shard as a reward from Pongo and Perdita if you return 42 Dalmatians to them. Head to Wonderland and activate the Green Trinity in the Bazaar Room's fireplace to obtain your next Mythril Shard. The next Mythril Shard is quite complicated, so I'm going to guide you through it starting from the Lotus Forest. So go to the back of the Lotus Forest where the giant mushrooms are located and use them to gain access to the Bazaar Room. Now you need to defeat all the Heartless here, so go ahead and do that first. Once you've done that, you can hit the teddy bear free from the shelf and it will land on the little chair, causing the book to come to life. Now go back to the Bazaar Room behind the Queen's Castle and drink the potion that makes you grow. Afterwards you can examine the book to find a Mythril Shard stuck inside. In the Bazaar Room behind the Queen's Castle, you can examine the flower pot to obtain a Mythril Shard. At the Olympus Coliseum you can activate the blue Trinity Mark in front of the statue to the left hand side, causing a chest to fall from above containing a Mythril Shard. In the Deep Jungle's tent there will be a chest beside the save point with a Mythril Shard inside. Now go to the Deep Jungle's treetop where a sneaky little Green Trinity is camouflaged that when activated will cause a Mythril Shard to fall from above. In the waterfall cavern of Deep Jungle, there's a chest at the back in a little puddle of water containing your 12th Mythril Shard. Go to the Cave of Wonders Hall. This is the room with the head spitting out water. From here, go to the back of the area where a chest is hiding in the left hand corner and inside is the Mythril Shard. Stay in the Cave of Wonders and go into the treasure room. Use the fireplace to get on top of the large pile of gold where a chest sits atop containing a Mythril Shard. Also in the treasure room here is a red Trinity Mark. Activate it to free a Mythril Shard from above. On top of Geppetto's ship inside Monstro, you will find a Green Trinity Mark. Activate it and a chest will be knocked free from the mast containing a Mythril Shard. Activate the blue Trinity Mark inside Monstro's throat and you will obtain your next Mythril Shard. Head over to Atlantica's undersea valley. This is the area with the large stream of water in the centre, and located near the back of the area on top of a platform is a red clam. Cast a fire spell on it to expose a Mythril Shard. Similarly, there's also a blue clam hidden in the corner of the undersea gorge, which is the area just outside Triton's Palace. Cast a blizzard spell on it to expose a Mythril Shard. And to finish off the trio, there is a yellow clam located inside Triton's Palace. Cast a thunder spell on it to expose a Mythril Shard. Outside the back of the sunken ship in Atlantica, there's a chest beside some wreckage containing your next Mythril Shard. Your final Mythril Shard in Atlantica is inside a chest within the sunken ship beside the broken window. Go to Halloween Town where you'll find a red Trinity Mark on the side of an archway in front of the river where Oogie's Manor used to be. Upon activation, a chest will be knocked down containing a Mythril Shard. Now on Neverland's Clock Tower, there are different doors which open at different times depending on your in-game playtime. It works similar to a 24-hour clock, and for a more detailed explanation, check the description below. So if you go to the clock tower at 3 o'clock, you will obtain a Mythril Shard. And if you go back to the clock tower at 11 o'clock, you will get another Mythril Shard. The end of the world's gate to the dark contains a red chest. Once opened, you will be transported to an area with a behemoth. Once you defeat it, it will drop a Mythril Shard. There's a small green chest at the gate to the dark containing a Mythril Shard as well. And finally, before you make it further in the end of the world, you're forced to fight a behemoth, which will drop a Mythril Shard once it's been defeated. Now you will have already gotten it at this stage, but I believe you can keep defeating it to get an endless amount, which technically means that this can be considered a bonus method as well, but because it's so time consuming, I don't recommend it. Now on to some bonus ones found inside the 100 Acre Wood world. First off, there's a Mythril Shard inside the green chest in the meadow area. Upon completing Rabbit's House Torn page, it will turn into a Mythril Shard. And your final Mythril Shard is a reward from Owl for returning one rare nut to him at the Bouncing Spot Torn page. While you're here, you might as well collect all the rare nuts. However, I'm doing an in-depth tutorial later on in the video, which is on screen now, and will be timestamped down below as well. So go to that point in the video where I show the rare nut locations if you need them. If for whatever reason you can't get 12 Mythril Shards, then keep in mind that the pot spiders in Agrabah have a 1% chance of dropping them. The best place to find these Heartless is in the bazaar, with the entrance located to the right hand side of the plaza. And congratulations, you have obtained all the necessary Mythril Shards. Now onto the Mythrils, which you will need 16 out of the following 21. So you obtain your first Mythril after posting your 5th postcard. If you need to know the locations of the postcards, I will link you to my postcard guide in the description. For your second Mythril, go to Traverse Town's green room in the hotel. Next, hit the clock above the doorway until it reaches 7 o'clock. Afterwards, a chest will appear on the cabinet containing the Mythril. For returning 51 Dalmatians to Pongo and Perdita, you will get a Mythril alongside a torn page as a reward. Go to Wonderland's Lotus Forest and glide over to the entrance to the Tea Party Garden. Once you're here, glide over to the large bush containing the blue chest. Inside will be a Mythril. Activate the Green Trinity Mark on the right hand side of the entrance beside the tournament rankings in the Olympus Coliseum and you will get a Mythril. In the Deep Jungle's Vines area, there will be a chest on top of the bush platforms with a Mythril inside. Inside the little wooden boat at the treehouse is another chest with a Mythril. Climb up the vines in the waterfall cavern to reach a platform with a chest. Inside is your next Mythril. In Agrabahs Main Street, outside Aladdin's house and beside the entrance to the palace gates, you can high jump up to the little canopy located on the upper level to get another Mythril. Head down to the relic chamber located on the right hand side of the entrance in the Cave of Wonders. Once you're down here, you should see a chest atop a platform containing a Mythril. Now this next one in Monstro is quite complicated, so I'm going to guide you starting from the mouth. So from the mouth, enter chamber 1. From here go straight ahead and enter chamber 3. Now turn to your left, high jump up to the ledge and enter chamber 2. Go straight ahead into chamber 5. This is where the Mythril is located, but before you open the chest you're going to need to defeat all the Heartless, so do that first. Now jump over to the green platform jutting out from the wall to get your Mythril. Again, here's another complicated one in Monstro, so I'm going to guide you from the mouth. So enter chamber 1. And head straight into chamber 3. Now turn to your right and enter chamber 6. Now while you're here you need to defeat all the Heartless on the ground first. Afterwards, jump across the green platforms until you reach the little area at the back with the chest. Inside is the Mythril, but in order to open it you need to first defeat the Heartless located here. In Atlantica's Undersea Valley, this is the area with the large stream of water in the middle. If you swim to the back and enter a concealed cave, a clam will be resting inside. Hit it open to reveal a Mythril. Collect the next Mythril below deck in the sunken ship. It's inside a clam down here, which you need to hit to reveal. Make your way to Ursula's lair, where you will notice a huge clam. Beside it floats a sea urchin, which you will need to cast a fire spell on. After a few seconds it will explode, causing the clam to open and drop a green chest with the Mythril inside. Now on Neverland's clock tower, there are different doors which open at different times depending on your in-game playtime. It works similar to a 24-hour clock, and for a more detailed explanation, check the description below. So go to the clock tower at 6 o'clock if you're looking for a Mythril. Head over to Hollow Bastion's castle gates, turn to the right and proceed down the steps, where you can examine the crystal here to take you down to the base level. Straight ahead is a bubble, which will transport you under the water. Upon arriving, jump up to the icy platform where you'll find a chest that contains a Mythril. On the library's second floor, spin the pillar until it lands on the green chest. Inside rests a Mythril. Now go back to Hollow Bastion's entrance hall and into the lift stop. Once you're here, make sure the crystal to the left says to lower level. Then go back to the first crystal near the entrance and examine it to take you to the floor below. From here, go straight ahead into the waterway. Ignore the Heartless and jump on the closest platform, taking you up to the lift stop. This new lift stop area also has a crystal, but this one, upon examination, spits out a Mythril. In the 100 Acre Woods, complete the Bouncing Spot Torn page and it will transform into a Mythril. And finally, after completing all the torn pages, go back to Pooh's house and light the bundle of sticks with fire magic. Pooh will then present you with a Mythril. If for whatever reason you want bonus Mythrils, then you can always synthesize them in the Moogle workshop. I will have the ingredients on screen right now, which are 5 Mythril Shards, 1 Mystery Goo, and 1 Mythril Stone. Just make sure if you are synthesizing them, that you add them to the list of materials you need. Now onto the dark matters. Unfortunately, unlike the previous items, you don't have a choice and must collect all 11 that I show here, unless you plan to synthesize any as substitutes. Remember that we need to create an extra 2 dark matters at the end anyway, so I highly advise against it. So for your first dark matter, head over to Wonderland's Lotus Forest. Go to the back of the Lotus Forest where the giant mushrooms are located and use them to gain access to the Bazaar room. Now you need to defeat all the Heartless here, so go ahead and do that first. Once you've done that, you can hit the teddy bear free from the shelf and it will land on the little chair, causing the book to come to life. Now go back to the Bazaar room behind the Queen's Castle and drink the potion that makes you grow. Now this may seem familiar to the Mythril Shard that is shown earlier in the guide, but this time I want you to move the teddy bear. Doing this causes the clock beside the chairs to come to life. Now go to the clock and select move. This will open up a new path to the Tea Party Garden, which you can now enter once you turn small again. Once you get here, open the blue chest to acquire the dark matter. Your second dark matter is a reward for completing the Pegasus Cup time trial. In the Jungle Slider minigame of the Deep Jungle, get to the 3rd course and collect all 30 fruit up until that point to get your next dark matter. I'm actually in the process of making a minigames guide for my channel, so when that's finished I will link it in the description in case anyone is not sure how to get to this point. For dark matter number 4, head to Aladdin's house and go down the pole into the main street. From here, glide across the street onto the opposite side, and from here you can use the boxes to gain access to an upper ledge where a chest resides. Inside is what you're looking for. Now the next one, inside Monstro, can be quite tricky, so I'm going to guide you starting from the mouth. So from here, enter chamber 1. And continue straight into chamber 3. Now turn to your right, high jump up to the ledge and enter chamber 6, where the dark matter is located, but in order to get it you need to defeat all the Heartless here first. Afterwards you can freely activate the White Trinity in the middle of the floor to reveal a chest with your 5th dark matter. Travel to Halloween Town's Moonlight Hill and enter the door just behind it to take you to the cemetery. In here there are lots of chests, but the one you're looking for is on the right behind the hanging skeleton. Inside will be dark matter number 6. Make your way to Neverland and activate the yellow trinity in front of the doorway in the ship's hold, which will give you access to a new room. Here there are many chests, including one with the 7th dark matter, but in order to open it you need to defeat all the Heartless first. Down on Agrabahs' waterway, beside the save point, there's a bubble to the right through the cracked wall. You can actually cast a blizzard spell on it and it will freeze, creating a platform, which you can use to climb up and reach a chest that was previously hidden. Inside will be a dark matter. The next dark matter, very easy, is located inside a chest on the stairs of Agrabahs' Grand Hall. From the top of the giant crevice in the end of the world, glide over to the crystal covered platform to find a blue chest. Inside will be your 10th dark matter. Your final dark matter is located inside a chest at the bouncing spot area of the 100 Acre Woods. It's on top of a branch, sheltered by a canopy of leaves. Remember, as I said before, the bonus method to get dark matters is to forge them in the Moogle workshop. The ingredients needed to synthesize dark matter are 9 lucid shards, 2 gales and 4 Mythrils. I advise this only as a last resort, if for example you've sold any of the dark matters because of the hassle to collect all the ingredients. Now congratulations, you've collected all the dark matters. Now we can move on to the last of the rare items, the Orichalcums. You need to collect all out of the following 19 that I'm going to show. However, the bonus method is very handy and may save you a lot of time, so I'm going to go over that first. So out of all the rare items, the Orichalcums are the easiest to collect, simply because you can buy them for 5,000 money from Donald's nephews in the item shop. Now 5,000 money is surprisingly hard to get, so what I would recommend is to continue travelling from world to world, defeating Heartless and collecting the synthesis materials. As you near the end of your synthesis journey, you will have passively collected a good amount of money, which you can then trade in for Orichalcums at Traverse Town. You will definitely still need to collect some throughout the game, but this offers a quick way to get Orichalcums while on your journey. So starting off, the first Orichalcum is a reward for delivering 8 postcards to the mailbox in Traverse Town. Again, if you need to know the locations of the postcards, I will link you to my guide in the description. Your second Orichalcum is a reward from Pongo and Perdita for returning 72 Dalmatians to them in the 2nd district. Again, I will link you to my Dalmatians guide in the description if you need to know the locations. Activate the White Trinity Mark in Traverse Town's secret waterway to reveal a chest with your next Orichalcum inside. In Wonderland, go to the back of the Lotus Forest and use the giant mushrooms to gain access to the lily pads above. Traverse your way across towards the entrance to the forest and glide to the opposite side where you should see a blue chest. Inside is your 4th Orichalcum. Once you complete the Olympus Colosseum's Pegasus Cup with just Sora, you will be rewarded with an Orichalcum. When you complete the Hades Cup for the first time, the purple urn sitting behind the pillars at the Colosseum gates will now hold an Orichalcum. In the waterfall cavern on a ledge beside the moss covered wall, there's a chest containing an Orichalcum. Now make your way to the Cavern of Hearts. This is the area where you seal the Deep Jungle's keyhole, and activate the White Trinity in the middle of the floor to reveal a chest containing your 8th Orichalcum. Now head to Atlantica, where you'll find a White Trinity Mark in Triton's Palace. Once you activate it, a chest containing an Orichalcum will be revealed. Now outside Uriel's grotto, you may notice a huge chest stuck to the seabed. Well, inside is our next Orichalcum, but in order to open it we first need to push it free. To do this, make your way to the sunken ship area. There's a cave here near the far side of the ship that will bring you back to the undersea gorge. Now directly above this little cave is the huge chest. To knock it free, simply hit the geyser and use the momentum to swim upwards and dislodge the chest. Now feel free to open it up and get your Orichalcum. In Halloween Town there's a chest that was previously located inside a cage to the right of the entrance to Oogie's Manor. Now obviously you've defeated him at this point, but don't worry, as anything you miss will now be residing under the guillotine in the centre of the manor ruins. Make your way to Neverland and activate the Yellow Trinity in front of the doorway in the ship's hold, which will give you access to a new room. Here there are many chests, including one with the 12th Orichalcum, but in order to open it you need to defeat all the Heartless first. Now go outside to the front of the pirate ship, fly up to the crow's nest, and open the chest up here to get your 13th Orichalcum. On Neverland's clock tower, there are different doors which open at different times depending on your in-game playtime. It works similar to a 24-hour clock, and for a more detailed explanation, check the description below. So go to the clock tower at 1 o'clock for your 14th Orichalcum. Then head back to the clock tower at 9 o'clock for Orichalcum number 15. Go to the lift stop behind Hollow Bastion's entrance hall and examine the second crystal to the left and make sure it says to upper level. Now once you go back and examine the first crystal near the entrance, you will travel to the floor above. Use a gravity spell on the chest that's floating up here to lower it and collect your next Orichalcum. Now make your way out to the upper level of the castle gates. Out here there's a magic platform that moves overhead. Use it to get close to the large podium coming up from the ground, and glide over to find a chest sitting on top. Inside is the Orichalcum. Now make your way to the Great Crest. This is the area where you got dropped off after getting off the large magic lift. From here make your way downstairs into the lift stop. Examine the crystal to be taken to the upper level, and head out onto the second floor of the Great Crest. Turn to your left, and hidden in the corner amongst the rubble is a blue chest with an Orichalcum inside. The final Orichalcum is found in the bouncing spot area of the 100 Acre Woods. It's actually a reward from Owl for returning all 5 rare nuts to him that are scattered throughout this area. I'm going to actually show you the locations of the rare nuts now, but bear in mind that you can only carry 1 rare nut at a time, so make sure you deliver them back to Owl as you collect them. You also need to complete the honeypot minigame here first by talking to Tigger and Roo in order to gain access to the seesaw, which we will need when collecting the nuts. Now on the right hand side of the bouncing spot area there will be a little tree stump, and once you step on it a little surge of water will come up from the ground, pushing up a second stump nearby. Use this to gain access to your first rare nut. For your second rare nut, go ahead and talk to Tigger. He will then return to the seesaw. Now that the seesaw is back in action, hop on and select Tigger. He will then fire you on top of a tree branch, from which a couple of precise jumps will land you on a leafy platform where the second rare nut is located. Jump back on the seesaw, but this time select Rue. He will then proceed to shoot you up to a large leafy platform where 2 rare nuts are located. However, as I said earlier, you can only collect one at a time, so deliver your 3rd rare nut first. Now repeat the process again for your 4th rare nut. For your final rare nut, go to the left hand side of the area and jump on the tree stump beside Piglet. This causes a large surge of water to come up from the ground, pushing up a small plank along with it. Use that plank to jump on top of the small tree to your left, where the final rare nut is located. Once you have all 5, deliver them back to Owl for your final Orichalcum.
My friends are my power.